The problem of software updates is mainly seen in Android because it's an open source project over which companies can create their skins and launch phones with that. In case of Apple, iOS is just in iPhones, and that makes it easier to monitor updates to their phones. Ever since the year 2019, I guess brands have been pushing OTA updates without properly testing them, because of which they bring along with them a whole lot of bugs which makes it impossible to use the phone itself. So, what the companies are trying to do by pushing such updates purposely is that they are trying to get you so fed up with the bugs on your phone that you ultimately decide to buy a new phone, which translates to a greater profit margin for these companies. Xiaomi has been one of the major culprits in this case, with a lot of Redmi and Poco users complaining about their phones, which generally after a year and a half has camera issues, and when they go to the service center to get it fixed, the so called technicians at the service center tell the customers that the motherboard is faulty and it needs to be replaced, for which they have to repair or pay around 6 to 5,000 rupees, which is almost half the price of most of the phones people purchase. Sometimes software updates also cripple the performance of the phone, due to which it gets sluggish and destroys the software experience of the phone. OnePlus has been doing this sort of thing for users of the OnePlus 7 series, forcing them to upgrade to a new phone. So, what is the solution for this? I think the Indian government shooting takes matters into its own hands and brings legislation forcing brands to conduct proper software tests before releasing an update. If they can sit and review hundreds of Chinese apps to ban them, they surely can do this for the sake of consumers at least. We as consumers should be mindful of the software experience of a phone and consider it an important factor in our buying decision. I feel like companies like Apple, Google, and Samsung are not doing such things, so it would be on the safer side to go for these brands. Two more things about the software which we want to talk about are companies promising a certain number of years of software updates and not delivering that, and software updates adding bloatware to the phone. Most brands like Micromax, Lava, Asus, Infinix, Techno, which don't launch a lot of phones every year, go under the rocks for months. And customers are left hanging with older versions of Android, while other phones get new versions already. I'm sure there'll be a couple of thousand phones which are still running Android 10, and OEMs don't care to provide the future updates even though they promise that. The Asus 8Z is an exception because some people have been able to get Android 12 through a certain certified website. The only solution for this is Google has to step in and create a deadline for when all the phones should get the latest version of Android running, which many other tech YouTubers have talked about. The next thing is bloatware. We already made a whole episode about it last year. You can check that out if you want. It's not acceptable for companies to add bloatware to their phones out of the box itself, but it's okay, we can manage while setting these phones up and uninstalling the extra apps and blocking those pesky notifications once we have the phone in our hand. But pushing bloatware with software updates cannot be tolerated at all. This has been happening a lot recently with Samsung phones, and Atharv has experienced it firsthand, and even I have experienced it with the new phone I have purchased. It is annoying to keep uninstalling these apps after every alternate month of security patch updates. Finally, I'd like to close this particular topic by requesting all brands to stop these cheap tricks just for profit and provide a better overall software experience that will attract customers to your brand naturally. One example of this is Motorola. They should work the number of years of software support, but they provide stock Android with their gestures, which is useful for double chop for flashlight or V for opening a camera or something like that. You obviously can change those things.